All righty. Good morning. Welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. I'm your host, Harvey Freed. We've got an unbelievable panel as always. Harry Glanz on the Zoom broadcast.
Good morning, Harvey, and good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful day out there. How about this weather we've had this week? See, this is what we live for here in Michigan.
Oh, it's fantastic out there here. And we bring our whole panel along with you. We got, of course, Becky Alley from the office and Lisa Lawson. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Now, really cool. You bring on Lisa, you bring on our favorite Matt Bush. Of course, there's Matt on the Zoom broadcast with his big real estate sign. Good morning, Matt Bush. Oh, yeah, exactly. All right, Matt Bush from Remax First. Kevin Stripling also joins us from Home Inspection Professionals. Good morning there. How you doing, Kev?
Good morning.
All right, we got you loud and clear. It's hard to get in touch with Kevin because he's inspecting every house around town. These home inspection companies, they're off the charts busy. They're in the houses. They're prepared. They've got their hazmat suits. Hey, let's dive right into it. 248-539-9797. Kevin, we got you loud and clear. So I wanted to start with some home inspection talk real quick. You're a significant part of what goes down in a transaction. These homes are 50, 60 years old. Detroit was as an old established city here. So our surrounding areas and our suburbs, these are older homes. What are you finding out there? And we're going to dive right into Matt and start really talking about housing this morning. What are you finding out there that people should be looking out for? And what's sort of a common thing that you find out that might prevent someone from buying a house?
Well, what we're looking for is major structural deficiencies. Paint, cosmetic things, that's pretty common to find. You're going to change kitchens, you're going to change bathrooms, but really what we do is we look at major structural components. Roofing, how old is the roof? What's the furnace? What's the condition of the furnace? So, big ticket items is what we like to say. So when you start looking at the transfer of properties and you start looking at, like I say, the big ticket items, those are the things that really what we're looking for when we do.
Yeah, focusing on things that are going to cost these new buyers a lot of money when they get in. Matt Bush, talk about move-in ready homes. It really takes a professional real estate agent like you, Matt, to walk buyers through and explain to them, hey, these are the differences between this house and that house. These are the do's and the don'ts. And more importantly, things that you might not have to put money into, such as a new kitchen and a roof and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I was out showing houses yesterday night in Warren. We saw a house at 169 and a house at 179. And the house that was more expensive had the granite countertops. It had... Hey,
Matt, we just lost your audio, but we're going to come right back to it. Hey, if you'd like to join the show, we're going to give it 1 hour of mortgage and real estate talk this morning on the Hardcore Mortgage Show, 248-539-9797. What a gorgeous day out there. June 20th, 2020. Is it the first day of summer? I think it is. It sure feels like it. It smells like it.
Try tomorrow. Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I thought I was talking to the computer because
can you guys all jump in right now? There you go.
Yeah. Hey, Kevin, I want to ask you a question. As Harvey and I have said for almost 20 years on this mortgage show every Saturday morning, we believe that nobody should ever waive their right to a home inspection when they're buying a new home. Will you please tell everybody? Because see, if we say it every week for 20 years, it's like telling your kids something. They don't believe you. They got to hear Uncle Kevin talk about why not waive their right to a home inspection. Go through it and let everybody know the reasons why.
Well, I tell you what we're finding right now and the trends in Detroit and what's going on is that, the trend right now is that people are starting to use the inspection period for negotiation processes, right? So, 2 to 3 days, and honestly, we're probably about 5 to 7 days booked out. So when you go to negotiate, your inspection contingency, make sure that you get 5 to 7 days doing that. But honestly, people are saying, well, highest and best, and now we don't have an inspection period. If you don't do that, folks, it could cost you a lot of money in the long run. Once again, when it comes down to structural issues, big ticket items like the furnace, hot water tanks, we climb into attics. And I know it's going to be 90 degrees today, and I'm going to go into attics, and it's probably going to be 120 degrees when I go in there. But once again, we're looking for mold. We're looking for insulation levels. We're looking for structural defects when it comes to rafters and trussing. So once again, if you don't have an inspection, these are the type of defects that could come back, even when you go to sell the home again in 5 to 7 years, it could come back to bite you.
Yeah, it's flat out budgeting.
What's the average cost for a home inspection? Just give me a range, and I'm going to draw an analogy that I say to Harvey every day in the office. What does it cost for a home inspection?
Well, I always tell people we are the insurance policy. And honestly, for $350 is the average cost, $300 to $400, it's an insurance policy for you. So once again, it's relatively inexpensive to hire a professional to come out and have your home inspected and to give you the ins and the outs of what's going on with the property before you purchase it.
Not only is it inexpensive, but I say to people in the office, would you lay $350 to protect a $200,000 investment?
It is
The answer all day has to be yes.
Yeah, so it's usually the biggest investment in your life, and for $350. And the other thing too is you want to probably, you want to hire a licensed professional to do this. It's always one of my biggest competitors is my Uncle Phil, who's the plumber, or my neighbor next door is a civil engineer, and he knows he's bought 5 houses before. But honestly, this is what we're trained to do, and this is what we do every day, all day. So
everyone knows how I feel about my cousin's brother, sister's aunt that bought a house 5 years ago. Like,
Right.
It's a real thing.
Oh, and
But
by
it's
the
not
way,
the
the guy
same
that
either.
sits next to me at work, he's fixed a few houses too.
Right.
For
Right.
Or
sure.
you've got the guys like my friend likes to, fix things up, and they are really great at decorating, and they, their house looks great. That's a lot different than someone who understands the bones and how a house breathes and how plumbing works, and it's really not the same thing.
Or what are the structural components of a home all about?
Hey,
Right.
Kev, you brought up a couple great points there too, and I like that. Let's intertwine that a little bit with the real estate market right now. There's no doubt if you're going to get your inspection done, put 7 to 10 days on there on your purchase agreement. Even if some reason you've decided to waive this home inspection, I have no idea why, but if you happen to do that, it still means you can get people into the home to take a look at what your costs are going to be. Again, if you understand that you're overbidding on the house because everything's perfect about this house, but you're going to be gutting the kitchen, the appliances are old, and also you understand that you might have to put $1,200 into a new hot water heater. So again, using knowledge in your real estate agent, these professional home inspections will really set you up for successful home ownership. Hey, last week brought some serious confidence in the marketplace. I'll tell you that. New construction, finally, definitely permits were up finally. And of course, getting these new construction homes completed, of course, with the shuts down, there's been a lot of delays out there. So we're starting to see more and more homes hit the marketplace, Matt Bush. But you definitely got a nice showing out there on Denise Street in Troy. Hey, Matt, my question to you is, really, what makes a great house? The neighborhood, the school district? What makes that house in Troy so great? That one listing you have that we were looking at this week.
I've told every listing agent, just bring your toothbrush. You really don't need anything else. The house is turnkey ready. The kitchen's been fully updated, all brand new appliances. We put in a new furnace in February. The roof's new, transferable warranty on the windows. So really there isn't anything that you need to do when you move in, except, bring your toothbrush. One of the reasons, circling back to Kevin too, is one of the reasons why I always use home inspection professionals myself when I can, is they set up the buyer for success. So they'll not only tell you about what's going on right now with the house, but what to keep an eye on for short-term, medium, and long-term things that you're going to want to be mindful of. So when you're buying a house today, even if you're bidding, over ask or in a competitive market, you can figure out, hey, in 3 years, I might need a new roof or a hot water tank. So having that in the back of your mind sets up the home buyer. All right, let's put another 20 to 30 bucks away to save for that rainy day for that roof that needs to be done in 3 to 5 years. It's not just what's wrong with the house now, but how can I be a successful homeowner for 5, 7, 15, 20 years down the road? And that's another thing about this house on Denise Street. They've lived there for the 30 years. They've updated the whole time. So it's not a house that's been turned over 3 or 4 times. It's almost the original owner who's been there for 30 years, who's perfectly maintained it. You've got a wrap-up staircase in the front, first floor laundry. You really can't find a better house in Troy right now.
Matt, that goes for any home out there. I mean, future maintenance. Again, a home inspection reveals things that are going on now, but that's the other part about home inspections and having qualified mortgage and real estate team is talking about the space that you're living in, the upkeep of the house, future maintenance, the age of the appliances, and budgeting. So that's why we always focus on this professional home buying team. And this is what we got for you today. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket, 248-539-9797. When we come back, you want to buy a house, we'll show you how to do it. Keep it here.
Hi, Harry Glantz and Dan Burke from Capital Mortgage Funding. Over 30 years in the mortgage banking industry, hundreds of thousands of families served. Let us serve you. Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
Ray, welcome back to the show. 9:15.
Harry.
It's the Hardcore Mortgage Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding, powered by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, NMLS 2289, equal housing lender. Got some special guests on today. Matt Bush, Remax First, Kevin Stripling, home inspection professionals. Oh yeah, when you hire an inspection guy, they do a lot of stuff. They talk about the functionality of a house. And I'll tell you, a lot of you homeowners out there, if we told you, where's that main water valve? Where's that main water shut off if you get an emergency? Some of you folks might not even know where that is. So definitely a lot of reasons other than just what's going on with the house today. And again, guys, thanks for joining us. We want to hear from you. 248-539-9797. Matt, it's always about what's going on in the marketplace in regards to the inventory. You know, it's a 1 to 3 month inventory seller's market. 3 to 6 is a level market. 6 to 9 months is a buyer's market. Where are we right now, Matt? Where do you feel the market's headed?
This is a major seller's market. So there's some markets where there's less than a month's inventory, and other parts of the market there's usually about a month and a half worth of inventory. So you're not finding an area that has 2 months worth of inventory at all. So this is really, the seller is king right now. You're getting multiple offers. You're like the first day on the market, you're being flooded with showing requests. So if you're going to list a house, take a vacation that first week that you're going on the market, because you're going to get bombarded with people coming to look at your house just because there's so few on the market. So
yeah, hey Matt, what we're doing
everything now, but There hasn't been a
I
better
gotta
time
interrupt
probably
you
in the
for a
last
second,
12
bud.
years to sell a house.
Can you guys
Go
hear
ahead,
me?
Harry.
All right. Hey, what we're doing on pre-approval letters right now, and it's happening more and more every day. So let's just say a house is listed for $199,900. We're going ahead and giving approval letters to people for $210,000, for $10,000, $5,000, $15,000 over the listed price, because we know that at those price points, they're going to come at overbid. And we want our folks who we get pre-approved to be able to get that house. Now, we're not spending their money for them. They have to make the decision. But if they want, and you're the realtor in this instance, Matt, if you see a pre-approval letter come in hot and heavy, first offer at $5,000 over list price, there are two thought processes here. One is, well, I might wait to see if I get any more. Or two, a bird in the hand is worth two in the, no pun intended, bush, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I just sold a house in Roseville. We listed it at 99 because we didn't know what it was. It's a frame bungalow and everything else is a brick ranch. We listed at 99. We got 115 within 36 hours of it being on the market. So another thing that an agent does is we call every single lender and we vet every single pre-approval letter to make sure that, find out where the buyers are in the process. I want to make sure that my buyer or my potential buyer has done more than just a credit check. I want to make sure the banker has, pay stubs, bank statements. Great story. Lisa and I just put together a deal over here in St. Clair Shores. The reason why we won the bid, even though we were $5,000 less than the highest offer, is because the seller agent talked to Lisa. Lisa told her all the things that they've already done to get pre-approved, bank statements, underwriting, everything. And they were more confident in Lisa as a lender than any of the other lenders that were over us. So we actually won the bid. So it's not always about the highest price. It's about terms. A lot of people now are selling their house to find another house. So how much time can I get after close so I can go find a house? We've got just appraisal contingencies. If I offer a house for 140 and it appraises, if I offer at 140 but it only appraises at 135, where's that extra $5 coming from? Is the buyer going to come up with it out of their pocket? Is the seller going to meet the buyer halfway in between? So you've got all these things going on. You have the agent relationships between me and every other Remax agent or just any other agent in Metro Detroit who we're working these things out. So if you have, XYZ Realty and they don't have a huge office or they don't have a presence where they talk to their agents, they build relationship to get the job done on top of just, sticking a sign in your front.
Gotta love that communication. Hey, 248-539-9797. If you want to ticket text us or give us a call here live on the air, got a ticket text in. My house is currently on the market. We're unhappy with our current agent. What are the odds of being able to get out of the contract and get a new agent? Boy, if you've got a nice house and you don't like your agent, Matt, how do you get out of that? You call the broker? What do you do?
You just have to have a critical conversation with the agent and say, hey, these are our expectations. And this is why we feel we're not getting service like we should. And if they continue to have an issue, that's a really tricky situation. So I don't want to say just call somebody, but yeah, call the broker for sure. If you're not breaking through with the physical agent, call their broker and say, hey, I'm not getting this level of service. Lucky or unlucky, every real estate contract has a sunset, has an end clause or has an end date. So, that contract's eventually going to expire. And maybe when you do go to list your house again, you talk to more than one agent. Stats show that typically when you list a house, 70% of people only talk to one agent before they sign the dotted line. So every time I do a listing appointment, I suggest that the buyer or the potential seller bring somebody else in just to contrast. Maybe, there's somebody there who's going to better vibe with them. I want that person that's buying or selling to know their options. This is a relationship-based business. If I don't click with you as well as somebody else does, by all means, hire somebody else. I want you to be in the best position to buy or sell.
There you go.
The best person for it. Maybe it's not me all the time. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I'm well aware of that. But for those that do choose to bring me on, they know that nobody's going to outwork me. So, and that's just what it is. Bulldog. Whether it's writing offers,
Matt's like, hey,
5 o'clock at night.
Everyone that's tuning in right now, make sure you're choosing Matt Bush for he's going to make that offer. Some other point I want to talk about the pre-approvals too. Buyers, if you're listening right now, anyone that's tuning in, the topic right now is you have to do your due diligence up front. You can't just drive by a house and say, I want that one anymore. You have to put in the work up front. Okay. So what we're doing for our pre-approvals, and what Harry was trying to make previously as well, is that we're not wasting our buyers' time. Right from the get-go, we're saying this is going to be your max. So if you find that beautiful house on the pedestal and it's above what the listing price is, you can go up to X with confidence. So therefore, we're also setting up the agents for success. So they're not waiting for a pre-approval from us. They already have their max in hand, ready to go. And you have to put in the work. If we need your W-2s and pay stubs, you have to give them to us. So when Lisa takes that call, she can honestly say, yes, I've looked at their income, their credit, their assets, and we have a strong buyer. That's what's going to make our offers, our pre-approvals, set you apart.
Yeah, we're still shocked a little bit. We talk about the Hardcore Mortgage Show podcast we've done. We've been on the air, obviously, for 20 years. One of our themes is to make sure that you really have that confidence moving forward, a strong approval letter or / a good, strong pre-approval letter, maybe with a couple contingencies. That is key. I still got the call last night, guys. So I know all you buyers out there got the call. Hey, I made an offer on a house. I'm not approved. I still haven't sold my existing house.
I can't believe people are doing that. Still, like,
I don't know if I probably rubbed them the wrong way when I said, look, there's two types of buyers out there right now. The families out there that are approved and ready to close within 30 to 45 days. And the other group of buyers out there that have not submitted their documents, that really aren't approved. And what's sad about that is because you're getting your family's hopes up, or your new spouse, or your new girlfriend or boyfriend, and your partner's going to say to you in 35 days, what do you mean? We're out there looking at homes, and we've got a lot of families also. You got the real estate agents involved, the sellers involved. Again, last night the phone call was they have an accepted purchase agreement, no approval. They didn't even call me back. I'm going to hound the guy though. We should have done a live call today. Anyhow,
how did somebody get an offer accepted when there isn't a pre-approval, or there isn't a pre-approval letter with the purchase agreement?
I'm confused
that
myself,
doesn't make sense
Matt.
in today's market. Like, why would a seller accept an offer when they don't know there's anyone that the offer isn't valid? I mean, there really isn't funds behind.
Don't get us started on that. Don't get us started. If you get Becky, Lisa, Harvey, and I started on that subject, it could take 10 hours to figure it out. Okay.
I mean, the purchase agreement was either in gumdrops or lollipops, because
they'll say pre-approval to follow, and then this is not the market where you want to work backwards. You need to be ready to go, because if you are working backwards and you're trying to hurry up and put something together last minute, you're not setting yourself up for success, and it could end in tragedy. So don't do that to yourself.
Well, I have a situation right now where I have a buyer who's ready to go, clear to close, and it was contingent on the sale of their home. That purchase agreement was entered to in April, and they still have not closed. And they keep getting extension after extension. And I'm like, look, we're at the point where we have to call it. Either this person on the other side, now I have nothing to do with that other loan, can or can't get it, and it's part of due diligence. Now this, my poor seller sitting here waiting since April, trying to close, and we're obviously getting inconvenienced, and everyone's been trying to be patient, but now patience has run out, and so now they've wasted all this time, and come to find out it was just a prequal from the get-go.
All right, here we take all your calls. 248-539-9797. National Association of Realtors announced that prices still increased in the first quarter of 2020. Are you kidding me? Despite the ongoing coronavirus pandemic, home prices in 96% of the polled areas were up. Wow. These numbers are happening. And again, the reason why is there's not a ton of inventory out there. The home builders were put on hold for 3 months. And yes, as we continue to talk about you making that offer, you must be able to close in 30 or 45 days. Now, sellers and buyers can understand. And if you have qualified real estate agents, we can put all sorts of, Lisa, escalation clauses, contingencies, delayed closings. Get your house sold, folks. Get your house sold. Give yourself 60 days after occupancy to go find a new home. If that's what your goal is, that's what today's market is.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think also right now it's not, I want to put out patience too, because it was obviously really hard during COVID-19. We were shut down, but now we're still seeing a little bit of a backlog. And I feel like sellers and some buyers think that it's a hostage negotiation and we got to close by this day. And if we don't close this day, the world's going to end. And sometimes you need a day or two because it's something that's contingent. Maybe it's their fault. It's not our fault. It's no one's fault, really, just things that happen. So you can't really put that. You got to just stick in there, let us do our job and do our thing.
Do our thing. 248-539-9797. It's 9:26. We're going to do our thing up here till 10 o'clock. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket, 248-539-9797. We'll be right back.
Hi, Harry Glanz and Danberg from Capital Mortgage Funding. Over 30 years in the mortgage banking industry, hundreds of thousands of families served. Let us serve you. Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
Welcome back to the show. Boy, it's exactly 9:30 on this glorious day out there. I don't know, high 80s, 90. It's awesome. Be careful out on the lakes. We're going to talk a little bit about lake living. We take all your questions here at 248-539-9797. You can always call us at Capital Mortgage Funding throughout the week at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. We have tons to share with you today. And again, we do these ticket texts too now at 248-539-9797. Days on the market, Matt. The average day, we've got Matt Bush on also from Remax First. Kevin Stripling, home inspection professionals. We had a great panel this morning. Of course, our usual suspects here from Capital Mortgage Funding. But Matt, days on the market in Wayne County in May, it was 54 days. There were 2,900 new homes on the market compared to about 3,400 and 3,500. Boy, that's down. That number right there, down about, 20%, 25% listings were down. So, what's going on in your neck of the woods? We talked about the inventory thing. People have to be prepared to make offers and be confident about them. Give us a little bit more of what you're looking for in the next couple months here as we get the summer started.
Yeah, so real estate isn't a monolith. That's the one thing. When you say We have micro markets in the real estate market as a whole. Like if you're shopping under 200,000, your average days on the market's probably about 3 to 7, as far as from putting the sign in the front yard to having an offer accepted. Those higher end homes, they still take a while. In Troy, where I'm at, the average days on market is still over 100. There's certain pockets that they don't, that they just go. Like people want to live in certain areas. I mean, here in St. Clair Shores with Kevin, I put a sign in someone's front yard, I'm going to have, 4 showings like the moment the sign goes in the front yard. So, I just, like I said, listed a house in East Point. We were on the market for 36 hours. I had to cancel showings because I had so many. COVID's not allowed, because of COVID, we're not allowed to have overlap showings like we used to be able to. So only one group can be in the house at a time. So, you're doing back to back showings, and it's a train. That's why I wasn't trying to be, funny when I said, if you're going to list your house on a weekend, go up north or get out of town, because you will not have any time to your house except to wake up and to go to sleep. You will have a parade of people in your house because there's so little inventory. I only see that continuing. We might see a little bit of a blip here in August, September, when people might drop prices real quick to move those houses to get people in so they can be in their school districts. But people still aren't going to want people in their houses because of the COVID concern. And if flu season comes back in the winter and we maybe have a second wave, I don't know what's going on. We're going to see another clinching of inventory. And buying a house isn't something you just wake up one morning and you roll out of bed with $400,000 and you go shopping.
I don't know. Some people do that. I don't know. Some people think they can.
I want to know those people.
Buy a house today.
Yeah. So this is a process. You get the ball in the works 3-6 months ahead of time. So people are in the funnel right now looking to buy in December, but who knows what's going to be on the market in December. There's less houses in May of 2020 than there were in June or January of 2019.
Right on.
There's houses in the market right now than there was last winter. It's absurd. This is usually hot market fire season. And there's just nothing out there right now. So it's just crazy. And, that's why guys like Kevin at Home Inspection Professionals, they're running around because their hair's on fire too. Because as soon as these houses go, one of the terms that we're negotiating is a shorter inspection window.
So I want to bring up something real quick.
On that roof almost the next day after, so we can, figure out what's wrong with the house and renegotiate if we can.
There you go, Becky.
Okay, yeah. So I sold the house in Lincoln Park, and this wasn't a reason why I chose their offer, but the buyers decided they're going to waive the home inspection. Okay, I bought the house when I was 24. I think we lost me. I think we did lose you.
That was weird. Hey, we'll move on. Hey, the Federal Reserve recently did a report on economic well-being of the U.S. households. And I'll tell you, with everything going on here with COVID, the unemployment figures have been interesting around here in Southeast Michigan. Things are moving forward. But the first couple of weeks of June, with the escalation of more and more coronavirus cases, it got scary again. So it goes back and forth out there. But at the end of 2019, 76% of adults reported that they were doing okay, living pretty comfortably. Again, we are just starting the second half of the year. First day of summer here. Oh, okay, good, Becky. We'll let you continue. Yeah, Becky, what's going on here with families, though, is the Federal Reserve has done some investigations. Families are doing pretty well, out there. Generally speaking, everything was moving along just smooth and dandy there. And, of course, the virus hits. But as Matt talks about, maybe there's a second scare, and it could affect the inventory coming up even in the fall. So we're still in this, I don't know, and let's wait and see what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like with inventory, I mean, if you're thinking about buying a house, don't wait. Even if you're going to buy it in a couple months, you're thinking you're going to be more so like the September, you got to start now. You have to do your due diligence. We have to get your documents. We want to make sure that you are set up. Before I got disconnected, I went off into the deep abyss. I was talking about what happens when someone waives their home inspection. So I bought a house when I was 24 and I sold it. They waived the home inspection. That wasn't why I picked their offer. There was other reasons, but they waived their inspection, right? So I actually ended up having a really good relationship with them, but they were calling in me, asking me like, oh, hey, I noticed this. And hey, I noticed this. Like, these were little things that were kind of starting to go a little bit on the house, like the garage door opener. You have to kind of fit, like move it around a little bit to get it to work. And these were little things that they would have found had they done the home inspection, right? But luckily I was a cool seller, so they could have reached out to me. So anyone that's thinking about waiving these home inspections, I mean, we can't preach that enough, where if you don't have a seller that's willing to take a call, that's going to ask you like, hey, how do you jimmy this thing to get it to work? You know, you're going to be stuck out in the cold finding out that this, you know, they put unknown for the age of the hot water tank, finding out it was really freaking a dinosaur. And you now have to step into a house and you got to do a roof, you got to do this, you got to like hot water tanks. So it's not worth it. You know, you got to make sure you reach out to people like Kevin, make sure you have someone that's solid to look at that house for you, because if you're going $5,000 over and then you got to turn around, you got to add up all this other stuff. I mean, that $300 is worth it.
Hey, money cures a lot of problems, though. Hey, look, if you got the money, then don't worry about it. Then you want to waive stuff. Hey, you got the money. Someone's going to write you a fat check. You can get a gift from family members. Your position might be a little bit different if you need
I
that
didn't
house.
hit the if you're going to hit the birth lottery, it's a different topic. But I wasn't one of those. I got to work hard. Most people got to work hard for what they get. So that $300, it's well spent for sure.
All righty. You guys want to jump in and go with another subject here? I always like to talk about refinancing because we talk usually about home buying and home purchasing. Refinancing, of course, rates at all-time lows. Not only is there an opportunity to lower your monthly payment, consolidating debt will really lower your monthly payment. We see huge savings for families out there that are really going from a 30-year mortgage to a 20-year. They're consolidating debt. They're knocking years off their mortgage, recalculating their escrows. It's just been unbelievable the amount of savings that families could take advantage of. Again, the reason why is many of you closed over 4% on 30-year mortgages from 2016 to about 2019. And now, of course, with the reduced interest rates, there's opportunity now to really take advantage. I hope
Harvey, I heard a staggering statistic the other day, and there's somewhere between 9 and 11 trillion, that's with a T, trillion dollars of refinance opportunities out there. In other words, like you said, people that have higher rates than the current rate. Now, however with that means all lenders are busy, so you have to be patient. And also, you have to do the calculations. Just because every day in the news, you're seeing that rates are all-time lows, and you're hearing really bad things on the radio, or you're getting email, or you're getting mass mailers, or getting that robocall. You know, you have to do the math. Somebody will come out and tell you they can get you 2% on a 30-year fix, but yeah, there's $20,000 in costs associated with that. So the fact of the matter is, you have to do the cost-benefit analysis. If you're only going to save $30 a month, but it's going to cost you $7,000 to do it, okay, your payback period is crazy. All right, so you've got to get with somebody that is going to do the math, take the time, and see if it's worth it. If you're already on a 15-year fixed and you're paying over and above your mortgage payment, it's irrelevant what your rate is. You're already paying it off sooner and at a lower rate than what your note rate really is. Now, I'm saying that all sounds like alphabet soup to everybody. I mean, Harriet, we don't even know what you're talking about. That's exactly right. You don't know what I'm talking about because all you heard was rates are at all-time lows. All right. So you really got to dig deeper into that. And it's just a phone call or an email away, and we'll do all the math for you. We'll figure it out for you. And then we'll give you the option. Hey, here's what you're going to save. Here's how long it's going to take to recoup the cost. What do you want to do?
Exactly. Understanding those figures are key. Boy, I fell in love with amortization schedules years ago. And a combination of having a little bit of a sit down, figuring out if you're going to stay in that house and keep that mortgage. Right? How long are you going to keep this new mortgage for? Use an amortization chart, use a mortgage professional, a mortgage banker, and you're going to get some great results. But you got to understand the math. Do the math, just like your teacher told you. Yes.
Just
Lisa.
Speaking on that alone, you know, I have a new client and they intend on paying off their house in less than a year. The one that we're putting a new mortgage on, he has the ability to do that. So he was going through options and he calls me, I want the lowest rate. I want the lowest rate. And what do I say? Why would you want the lowest rate? Why don't you let me pay your cost? Right?
Exactly.
Let us pay your cost. It's going to be a slightly higher rate, but you're still going to save over the long term. You know, all of us are professionals. We crunch numbers all day long. You know, we're very rate driven. Everyone keeps telling you, what about the rate? What about the rate? Well, if you're only going to be in the house for 6 months and you take a rate that's half a point higher, you know, it might be in this case, because it's a larger loan amount, $50 more a month for 6 months. Might be $300 more now, but I'm saving you $2,600 in closing costs. You know,
well, that eighth lower sounds so much better. Like it just
because it just sounds
and it looks better. It's like a different. You know, it's like people don't understand it. Like, yes, 2.875 is a great rate, but for whatever reason, 2.75 sounds better, even though it's costing them $3,000 more. You got to make sure it makes
No
sense.
sense.
Oh, I love that
Yeah.
stuff. All right. How long are you going to stay in the house? How long are you going to keep that mortgage for? These are other questions that come up. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket. When we come back, what's fun in real estate? Gardening, lake living. Get out there and enjoy yourself. 248-539-9797. We'll be right back.
Hi, Harry Glantz and Dan Burke from Capital Mortgage Funding. Over 30 years in the mortgage banking industry, hundreds of thousands of families served. Let us serve you. Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
Alrighty, welcome back to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. We're in our 20th year here on the radio. We really appreciate all of you listeners. Give us a call, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Again, empowered by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, NMLS 2289. We always hook you up. If you want to buy a house, get that strong approval letter, deal with a real professional. I can pretty much confidently say with my boss on the line right now that we close all purchases within 30 days. If we don't, then you didn't have your ducks in a row. So definitely give us a phone call at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker right here locally in Michigan. You're really going to get handled. And we got a great crew. And again, we're in our last segment here. So Matt, well, we were talking about lots of different things today, inventory, also what things could look like September, October, what this winter might look like based on what this summer looks like. So we're still in a wait and see. People are back on the job here in Southeast Michigan. We're in one of those states that we were really hit hard, but it appears that we're in the right things. Again, stay safe. Keep those masks on, keep practicing. Matt, you were telling us how you went about, you had a broker open house and how you have to follow all this protocol. Other than that, the sellers shouldn't be scared, Matt. Let's be optimistic. Maybe a little shout out to sellers out there. Get your house on the market. Tell me more, Matt.
Yeah, so good seller's agent. I've got hand sanitizer at the front door. We've got booties to cover your shoes, or if you just want to walk around in socks, it's fine to prevent tracking dirt and germs through the house. Face masks, if you don't already have one, are offered for you. Gloves are offered for you. So we're going the extra mile. We're doing everything we can possibly do to protect buyers and sellers. Every listing comes with a COVID hold harmless agreement to where sellers are protected through this agreement that the buyer can't hold them responsible if they go into their house and they accidentally catch it, and vice versa. So, the Michigan Association of Realtors, we've really gone to the mat to make sure that we can reopen after kind of the shutdown. We were one of the test subjects to really open, and we've kind of gone the extra mile to make sure that it's worth it. Our industry has to move forward. We're not a small retail shop that goes on $20 to $30 ticket items. We're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars. Real estate has so many moving parts. We hold title companies, home inspection professionals, insurance companies. There's so many pieces of the chain that, you take real estate out and a lot of the chain comes apart. So we're doing the extra mile. We've got a beautiful open house in Troy today from 12 to 3 at 2757 Denise Drive in Troy. That's 48085. That's the First Street south of Square Lake Road, right off to Quinder. I'll have hand sanitizer, gloves, masks, everything. So if you're interested in, if you're thinking about moving into Troy, come stop by 2757 Denise Drive. My phone number is right here at 586-843-6869. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me directly or go to @myfirsthouse on any social medias, Facebook or Instagram. Shoot me a question if you have anything. But I look forward to having a big open house, socially distanced and responsible. It's 2,500 square feet, so there's plenty of room to have a few people.
Big house.
So,
hey, Matt, how about this flight to the suburbs? What's going on, man? This coronavirus. Did you get some clients? Are you getting the calls from the people in the city saying, hey, wait a minute, I want to get out there the suburban zip codes. I want to get out there in the rural development areas. It was a 13% jump according to realtor.com. It doubled the pace of families wanting to get into the urban areas. Have you seen a little bit of the shift over the last couple months?
There's been a little of that, but I think, people, when they do buy their first house or they kind of get used to their neighborhood. I think there's a stat that most people live and die within 25 miles of each other. So, if you live in downtown Detroit, you're not going to give away the trappings of all the bars and restaurant scene to go live in Armada. I mean, I love Armada. I grew up in Romeo myself, but I'm not going to give up the convenience of having, all my friends near me to go live 30 miles north where my nearest, the nearest animal is a horse, the nearest.
You're like a man down by the river.
But you might have a family. It's funny. My buddy Kevin and a client, he's going to go out there and he's moving up. He's looking at Northern Macomb and no, he's got a big enough family. He's bringing his own party, right? But if you're going to be moving away from your friends, that's different.
I love it out there, and that's something, when you get into Northern Macomb, you need to have a well inspection. And that's another thing that, these home inspection professionals guys do is, I had to call them in, and ironically, the lady that bought a house in Romeo or Washington Township is from the county where Kevin has property down in Alabama. So, these guys are, top of the line. They can do full service everything. There's a great team. They've got plenty of guys. So, call Home Inspection Professionals, homeinspectionprofessionals.com. If you have any questions, these are your guys. So there's
Matt,
I wouldn't invite so much if there wasn't.
Matt, I'm a big believer and you got to live where you want to live. You could drive everywhere else. Okay. So live where it's comfortable for you, drive everywhere else. And right now people aren't doing a lot of driving. So it's really important to really live where you want to live and make it your area, make it your home. School districts, if you have children, that's important. Shopping, all those things, the amenities. You want to live that's where it's convenient for you and you could drive everywhere else. That's all.
Hey, Lisa Lawson, I want to dive in real quick. A lot of buyers out there, they're still paying off their student loans. They're still recovering from some debt they have from the holiday season. What makes FHA Mortgage great? 3.5% down. Lisa, FHA and Mishta, give those home buyers out there without a lot of money some hope.
Yeah, Mishta's back. It was on pause for a minute, but it is back. So you can get up to $7,500 in down payment assistance. And especially now when people have a little bit of difficulty time saving, or could be that they've been on furloughed or, 20% reduction in pay and they've not been able to save what they've wanted to, if they qualify, they could definitely use that program. Rates are really low.
Hey, and of course, FHA loans in generally almost every county in Michigan is $331,760. That's not a starter home, folks. FHA mortgages. And if you're a seller, don't shy away from an FHA offer. You're making a huge mistake. I had clients that lost a house. Their offer was $4,000 or $5,000 more because they had an FHA label on there. Look, most FHA buyers are even easier loans to get done. Becky, you'll attest to that. We allow higher ratios. We allow lower credit scores. Sellers concessions to make up the different gifts are allowed. FHA loans are just great, aren't they, Beck?
Yeah, I feel like FHA, for whatever reason, they had like a negative stigma, back in the day, but it's just not like that anymore. They're a great vehicle to get you where you got to go. Like Harvey was saying, you can have more debt and still buy more house. If you had a foreclosure in the last 3 years, you can actually move into a home using FHA versus conventional is going to make you wait 7 years. That's a 4-year difference of home ownership. You can't shy away from it, and sellers especially. It's nothing negative. Just if your house is decent and you don't have the chipping pay, and even if you do, we can still get around it. So don't shy away from it at all, for sure.
Yeah, there you go. And again, a lot of families out there, when they're qualifying for a mortgage, they're self-employed. I talked to a whole bunch of families. One of the spouse or one of the individuals was a W-2 employee. The other person was self-employed, whether they were showing 20 or 30,000 or they were writing off all their income. Their debt to income ratio was too high to go conventional, and they were allowed to get in FHA. We ran the figures. It's exciting for families. Again, find out though ahead of time. Don't be 2 weeks into the transaction. It's a shout out there to all the real estate agents and mortgage people. If you are buying a house, one more time, you must be truly approved. You must have already submitted your documentation to your lender. They can run it through the automated systems. And generally speaking, if you've got the funds, the credit, and a great stable job, you're going to close on a mortgage within 35 days. But don't be that person still. Again,
No,
I got the call last night, Beck.
You can't fake it till you make it right now. You just can't. You have to be prepared. You have to know what you're getting into. You have to know what your payment's going to look like. We want you to be comfortable. We want you to be educated. We don't want you to be sticker shock. The point of talking to us in advance is so you're confident, you're comfortable, and you're like, hey, I can handle that $2,000 payment. If I have to go over, my payment's $10 more, I'm cool with that too. You have to be prepared right now if you want to stand out and get your offer accepted.
Different parts of the country cost more to refinance. Right here in Southeast Michigan, it's one of the least expensive in the country. There's opportunities to recalculate your escrows. Of course, your summer tax bill is coming up on July 1st. Your taxes might be a little short, and there might be an opportunity to refinance the house to reduce the private mortgage insurance or even eliminate the private mortgage insurance. Definitely call Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. I did some calculations last night. I used a $270,000 medium sales price of a home or a home value of $270,000, 20% off of that, 80% loan to value, $216,000 mortgage. I took it as if you dropped to a 15-year mortgage, and I just used some hypothetical rate in the low threes. Rates are even lower than that on 15 years for most, and the savings were $96,000 over the lifelong of the loan. Boy, if you could take a look at reducing your term down from a 30 even to a 20, it's going to save you a ton of money. Boy, you get down to the 15-year, and you're going to save almost triple digits on these bigger loan amounts. Definitely call Capital Mortgage Funding. Deal with the real mortgage bankers. Hey, you guys, some last thoughts.
That cash you can't see. It's that cash you can't see. So if you're somewhere to put $96,000 in front of you on your desk, why would you not take it? You wouldn't be like, oh, I don't know if I want to take that money. Of course, it's that invisible money that you can't see, but it's still lining your pockets. I mean, so if it makes sense to shorten your term and you can afford that little bit of a jump in the payment, if that's the case, do it always. Get
that 15-year. Again, at retirement, no one wants the house payment. Again, your cash flow slows down as we get a little older in some cases, and that opportunity might be there. Hey, Kevin Stripling, I just want to throw it out there real quick. Say, Kev, we'll get you back on here for sure. That's Kevin Stripling, Home Inspection Professionals. So if you were calling in or texting us, go ahead and look up Kevin. He's got all 5 stars, Home Inspection Professionals. And Matt Bush from Remax First. Thanks for joining us, Matt.
Thanks for having us.
All right. Always.
Hi, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Happy Father's Day.
All right. Happy Father's Day shout out. I'll take that. Hey, for our entire staff, we want to thank you. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket. We got Pat Caputo coming up with sports, social commentary, and a whole lot more. Have a great day.